Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and I happened to come across this video, or it was sent in my inbox by somebody. Let's see, Logos Apologia. Hopefully, I said that right. I'm horrible with usernames, but this is the Resurrection Challenge. Can you account for the evidence? And I could win a prize. See what the prize is. Let's see if I'm a skeptic. I could win. Let's see. Oh, this is too good. Anthony Flews, There Is Not a God. And if I'm a Christian, I can get the famous Case for the Real Jesus by Strobel. I think Strobel has an honorary doctorate. And I don't need Anthony Flews, There Is Not a God. So, whether I win or not, I don't need any prizes. And if Logos Apologia could send me an address, I'm not a wacko or anything, I will send you a book. I have an extra book, Power of the Myth by Joseph Campbell. Because getting into this, here we have a fact religion, and Christianity has been demythologized by facts. So here are symbols that used to impact people's lives in profound ways being reduced to a bunch of facts. 5 things that I need to believe in order to be a real Christian. And it demythologizes everything that Christianity stands for. So, my question is, how do we remythologize that and make it relevant in our lives today? Because these things are not relevant. An avid reader of the classics, and an avid reader of history, and an avid reader of Greek, Roman, and Jewish literature will be able to blow through these 5 facts just like nothing, with comparisons on how these things possibly came about, and reasonable explanations across the wide spectrum of human understanding and literature. Because not only in Christianity do these types of symbols impact people's lives, but also in other cultures, the same motifs and the same ideas, which we're going to do. So the first fact. So I'm a doubting Thomas, a skeptic, and not until I put my hands in the wounds of Jesus would I believe. And these are the wounds of Jesus, the 5 wounds he bears, or the 5 facts, are actually the 5 wounds itself. So, Jesus died on the cross. No biggie. Somebody who reads Josephus, Wars of the Jews, gets a picture of the Romanization of Jerusalem and the terrible things that happened there. They couldn't find any more wood because of the building of the siege towers and the building of crosses. Many, many people died on crosses. And even in the book of Josephus, you will see how prophets were killed. There's a mention of a few of them. Seeing Jesus after his death, you read in classics, people coming back in the play Alcestis by Euripides. Hercules wrestles death and brings back the wife of a king, which is a beautiful story. She takes his place, so his life will be extended. And there's that whole controversy controversy of doing that, how each of the characters feel. Take a look and read that. Also, the unusual conversion of Paul. The same thing when the king is trying to oppress the Bacchus cult in the play The Bacchae by Euripides. There's also a mention where the god Bacchus himself shows up and asks the king why he's kicking against the pricks and just not join, and why he has unbelief. So read The Bacchae. It's awesome. You could do it in a nice rainy afternoon, and you'll see the same kinds of ideas being discussed. The king, because he opposes the god, meets a terrible end. He's devoured or ripped apart by the believers. James, the brother, Jesus, the brother James, seems to be, and talks like he may have been involved with the Essenes, or the writers of the Dead Sea Scrolls, Dead Sea Scroll community, whatever that was, whether it's Qumran or some other sect, which is a Jewish breakaway group, already beat Christianity to the punch on a lot of the themes. And also, John the Baptist could have been from that group. So, nothing unusual there. Because when you read the literature, the writings attributed to James, much different than the writings attributed to Paul. So, Church of Jerusalem, very different message than the James, the brother of Jesus, which there's a really good book out by Eisenman on that, James, the brother of Jesus. The empty tomb. The empty tomb, I've seen a good video on it, and also it's pretty obvious. In Isaiah, the one person who Isaiah himself calls Messiah, King Cyrus the Great, he's called Messiah. His tomb is empty. And also the ideas of ascension. You have the Job of Greek literature, Hercules, after completing the 12 labors, ends up being kind of double-crossed by his wife. She has a potion she puts on his robe and it burns his skin, and he's hated by the goddess Hera. He's in such pain he climbs the funeral pyre and burns up, self-sacrifice. And because of this, and because of his torments, he's accepted among the gods, and actually takes to wife Hera's daughter. I believe her name was Hebe. So, an awesome story. So get into some of those Greek classics. All these things here will seem like nothing, because the symbols are there, the types of stories are there, the miracles are there, and if you read Luke is like the tragedy of Jesus, and it's pretty interesting indeed. So I guess what I wanted to do in closing would be to read part of this out of Joseph Campbell's book, Thou Art That. And this is page 83. He has something to say about it. Here's what he said is about the end of the world theme. The kingdom is here right before our eyes. That is the message of Jesus in the Gospels. In Mark, the end of the world sounds like something that is still to come, a future event. Jesus is supposed to have said, "This generation shall not pass away before these things shall come to pass." And that was thought to predict the imminent end of the world. People found, of course, that the world did not end, and it came to be regarded, as they say, the great non-event. But institutional churches still say that it is going to happen. You cannot, however, read this notion of the end of the world historically as if something fundamentally in the calendar of time. If you see that the kingdom of the Father is spread upon the earth while others do not see it, the end of the world has come for you. For the world as it was for you has indeed ended. You see the world's radiant joy, and you say yes to it all, and you do not say no to it all. The Gnostic insight carries us into the experience that we already described in the planting mythologies. Therein, one identifies or recognizes the dynamicism of life in all things. We are not to become attached to the more phenomenal aspect of the world, but to see it directly to its core. And how do we do that? Through the myth. And that, my friends, is the power of the myth. And that's how we remythologize such ideas. And we need to get back doing that, because as things progress, it needs to continually be meaningful to people in contemporary formats. And these 5 facts, or the 5 wounds of Jesus, are killing the religion. So take care, friends, and I enjoyed the challenge. Be well, read some of that literature. It's beautiful stuff. And remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.